Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Well, here I go again. I could not get the Noster nest to work. Hey, good morning, Mike. Good morning. Oops, wait, let me do that. How are you down there? I am fighting with this Noster again, and daggone it, I thought I had it. Maybe I have it now. I don't know. I was trying to set the name. I thought all I had to do was back that out. And then when I tried to link to it, it said it didn't exist. And I don't know. Maybe one of the fellows will hop on later and try to help me with that. Let's see if I can get that up there. All right. So if they're over on the Noster nest, maybe they'll pop in and say hello. I haven't had a lot of time. I keep not having time to work on this, but I just don't have time to do anything these days. It seems like we're all good over here. Rainy season's came a month early. Yeah, we seem to have our rain. Well, we've only had a few days without so far, but we had a lot of rain in March and April. I mean, I can't remember the numbers. There's a percentage of rain in a year that qualifies you as a rainforest, and West Virginia is very close. I mean, we're just within an inch or so of qualifying as rainforest. And then a lot of the Appalachian Mountains do too, because it's just the way it is. I've got multiple screens going and stuff going on again. So, well, let me try to clear this off. Oh, yeah. Stupid baseball team. Dirty Birds. I don't like that name. I think it's a slur on the coal mine industry. They say, oh, no, it's to promote, miners, No, it's a slur. I think my own personal opinions there. Let's see. Hey, it's Friday. It's Friday Live Unscripted. This is the 62nd podcast for Holstein House. 62 of them. It's crazy. It means for 31 weeks. 31 weeks I've been doing this twice a week. Except there's been an occasional pre-recorded one because of things, but I can't believe it. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there with a lot more than I've got, but daggone, 62. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So today, I mean, it's unscripted, so we'll talk about whatever. A couple things I do want to bring up is talk a little bit more about the grain-free breads. I didn't get the delivery that I was expecting on that, so I didn't get to work on them anymore. I haven't had anybody suggest a different bread to try. I've only had a couple of comments that they struggled to find any that was of any count as well. Duckling alert! If you didn't already know, we'll bring you up to date on that. another drawing when I hit 500 folks over on Noster. Talk about that a little bit. Don't have to talk about anything in particular. That's why it's called Unscripted, but I always do bring a few things to take care of anyway. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Oh, I don't see myself over there. I fell off. Over there. That should be me. Let me try this again. Sorry for that delay. What I'm trying to do is get, you're supposed to be able to, there it goes. I'm back. So that people can see you in the Noster nest. You got to have more than just yourself in there. You got to have somebody else. So a workaround for that is to use, if you're on a tablet or a desktop or a laptop or something like that, streaming to Noster, is to use a cell phone and log into your own nest. And then that way folks should be able to see you. Now, I have had a little trouble with that already this morning because you get a window or a thingy do. See if I see it didn't populate anything other than that. Maybe because I don't have a logo. That might be why. No logo on the Noster nest. So there's nothing to post except that URL. Yay. Oh. Well, that's all good, well and fun. So we'll just try to knock this out. Welcome, obviously, welcome again to the 62nd episode of the Holstein House podcast, broadcasting on YouTube, Fountain FM, Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, TuneIn, iHeartPlayer, Samsung, and working regularly on creating a Noster nest schedule. I hope you'll do whatever particular social network you're participating in, whether it's thumbs up, boost, zap, clip, subscribe, but always, always, please share and help us build, and share with your friends and your followers. If you participate in the value for value exchange, I hope you will acknowledge any value you get out of the podcast today. I made the comment in a post the other day about skipping the middleman and Zap using the Lightning Network. And I had someone say, well, but you've got to pay the guys that build the structure. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. But so I'm working on the Noster Nest streaming regularly. I'm not sure what that's going to look like from here out. I do need to work on the logo. I do need to work on getting the URL set. I can go in and change. I went in and changed it like Seth had mentioned last time, but then it still didn't recognize it. When I used it as a link, it didn't recognize it. I don't know if that's because I hadn't broadcasted it yet. I'm not sure what's happened there, but I've got to find time to work on that some more. Time is a commodity that I'm quickly running out of. I just really don't have much extra time to do anything lately. And I had a little breather there after we had the little trouble with the heater at the church. I had a little breather where things were going fairly smooth, but we recently had an issue with our HVAC, or our air conditioning here at the house. And we'll cover that here under our home section. The air conditioning, the condensation drain has, I it was backing up. It didn't do that last year. It hadn't done that at all. Then was it last week or the week before? I ran it because we had guests, and I ran the HVAC, or I keep saying HVAC, but I ran the air conditioning unit, and came down in the basement, and the condensation had backed up and had been running in the floor and out of the drain that he made, and had a mess to clean up. And then we didn't run the air conditioner for a while because the temperatures had swung and were down. And then I started running it again the last few days. The humidity's up quite a bit. And I came down this morning, and darned if there wasn't a puddle of water in the floor again. So I cleared everything out and around. I messaged him and let him know, and I don't know what he's going to do or how you fix it. That's not something I know how to do. He knows how to do that. I don't. Mr. Holstein, that is. And all I can do is just clean up the water. That's all I can do is just clean up the water and clean out and around so that he can get to it. Now, there's a lot down here that needs to be shifted, a lot of crafting type of things that I had intentions on doing that I'm probably not going to be doing because I haven't yet. A lot of paperwork that needs to be scanned and gotten rid of or shredded, and just things that I need to do. I do have the housekeeper now coming in once a week, freeing up a couple hours of time. So hopefully things will settle with that. But it's just like as soon as I got that settled, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to have these couple hours and I can focus on. There we go. There we go. So that frustration is there, and I don't know when it's going to ever get over. I mean, with a house, it's always something anyway, especially if you own. You can't call the landlord and say, hey, get this fixed. But, it's so difficult to find people to work for you. I mean, I say fighting. We're not like fighting. I'm not suing him or anything, but I still don't have my stupid front porch rails. I messaged him a few minutes ago. And I said, where do we stand on this? He says, I got to finish this house. I want a deadline for this house, and I'll be on your place next week. And I'm thinking, this has been since January. So I know I have other work I would like to pay him to do, but honest to Pete, I'm just wore out. So it's been yesterday was nice, and the day before was nice. Today it's cooler, and a chance of storms this afternoon. So it's really humid out. So when the air conditioning does kick on, it's just going to be pouring out the water again. The upstairs felt really, really warm. Now down here in the basement, in the bunker, it's pretty chilly all the time. I mean, it has to be really, really like in the 90s for several days for it to really be warm down here. Now it may be humid down here, and I do have a dehumidifier, but usually the HVAC system pulls the moisture out of the air, and it's not that big of a deal, but it can get really humid down here. And I would like to do a lot of stuff down here, but honestly, with all these little stupid things that need to be repaired, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. When you are trying to work out of your home and you really, you need to compartmentalize. You need to not be doing the laundry while you're working on this particular project, or not thinking about, I can vacuum real quick while I take a break, or you really need to compartmentalize, and it can be very difficult for people to do that. But it's really important because we like to think we can multitask, and to a degree you can. I'm here and I've got I've got the headset on, so I'm doing the StreamYard, which is going to YouTube, which is going to Facebook, and we've also got the Noster going as well. And so, but that's technology doing the multitasking. I'm not mice. The only thing I did was set these up, so I'm not physically, it's not like I'm ambidextrous and I'm doing math over here and I'm doing a novel over here and podcasting. Multitasking, I think, is just a way of rationalizing ADHD in adults. Because if you're really going to do something and you're going to do it well, you need to focus. I'm not going to do this podcast or broadcast well if I'm constantly looking over here, finger pointing and waving and telling somebody else to do something. I'm not going to be focused. If I'm worried about the laundry while I'm working on a spreadsheet, I may do something wrong there. We really need to be dialing that back some. And I have lost patience with myself even on the number of projects that I've been trying to get done. And the house is a big project, a really big project. I have absolutely got to be able to find time to get some specific big projects out of the way and done. And it's increasingly difficult. The HVAC is just a symptom of this, in that I need to be focused on. We've been in the house a little over 6 years, 7 years now, I think, and we had intentions of replacing the HVAC system, reworking the ductwork, because the ductwork is poorly done. And I think it wasn't necessarily unrealistic, but we've let the little small fruits get in the way of the big things. And if you're constantly picking low-hanging fruit, you're not going to get to the good stuff up top. So I need to refocus and get some things done. So dealing with that is going to be it's going to take a priority now over some other projects that we had wanted to get done. But finding people to do the big stuff, the stuff that we can't do ourselves, or even little stuff that we can do, but we need to have someone else do, or it's just not going to get done, is difficult too. I know you've heard me say many, many times, it's tough to find people who will work. And we used to have several options. You used to be able to go to the Yellow Pages and find people, and you knew that they were fairly reasonably stable, or they wouldn't have paid for an advertisement in the Yellow Pages. We used to be able to buy a little paper called the Ad Bulletin. And people would call, and you could put free advertisements in for household goods, like free bolt of fabric, or free quilt rack, or free or $10 for I don't know, an encyclopedia set from 1960 something. Just the household items, small little ads were at no charge. But you had to give a good phone number, and people would call you or show up if you gave an address or whatever. But usually they would call you, because you didn't put email addresses in there. That paper's gone. It was relatively reliable in that there were some paid advertisements in there as well from small businesses, so you knew they were kind of probably fairly reliable or reputable, because they paid again for an advertisement. That's not always a guarantee. I don't want to make it sound like it is. That's gone nowadays. You don't see much in the print newspaper. And the advertisements that you see on social media now are just insane, because it doesn't cost but $25 to pay to have a Facebook ad to reach a certain zip code for a week. I mean, that's nothing. And it's reaching a lot of people. I don't have to be reputable to do it. it doesn't take much effort to do it, you know. So for me to try to find reputable people now, it's really a challenge. I can ask friends and family, who do you recommend? But half of them are going to say, I don't know anybody either. Which then leads you to looking at, trying to scan the highways for people with magnetic signs, or going to the Tractor Supply or Walmart or something and find one of those little boards where they have little homemade advertisements with tear tags or yard signs that people can have made, and stick out that says, I do lawn work. Well, again, you can get those made. It doesn't mean you're in account. So it's hard to find good help. Hard to find good help. I mean, it really is. And I long for the day when we can go back to using something like the Yellow Pages. I mean, it's just it's frustrating. You can't. I would be able. You could flip the book open, and under contractors, you'd see a big long line, and the guys with the big advertisements you probably couldn't afford, but there'd always be one or two, just a few little lines that says, I do roofing work, call Joe at 555 blah blah blah, and you could call and talk to Joe, and you could ask around, has anybody had work done by Joe? And you could filter your people that, but now it's just a nightmare to try to find people that are going to do a good job and are going to show up. I mean, I've had we've talked about this before. I've reached out to people that said, okay, I'll be there on, fill in the day, Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. No call, no show. No call, no show. So it's very, very frustrating to do that, to try to find someone who can do some work. I've got the roof work that I want done. I really like my contractor's work when he's here and does it. I just don't like how this porch thing has gone, and I'm afraid it's a foretelling of what would happen if I actually have him do the roof work. I may be fooled, but yeah. I want to share with you that over on holsteinhouse.etsy.com, we have some new merchandise up. It is it's a little oh, I forgot my bag. I was going to bring the bag down here and show you. I got a bag made, and it's a tote bag that says my family is unconventionally diverse, and it has little footprints on it. It's chickens, ducks, dogs, and cats, and people. It's really cute. I know I don't have it here. Maybe I do have it here where I can share. Let me take a look real quick. I saved it and put it up on my socials. But I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can share this out to you. Mm-hmm. Give me a second here, because I didn't have it open, so I don't have my share screen. Present. Why can't I? Let me do it that way. Let me see. Does it mean, can I add this? Darn it. Well, shoot. I can't make it do it. Unless well, it's not going to be. Where is it going to be? I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry. I wanted to show that to you, and I can't do it without disconnecting the wait a minute, let me see. Maybe I can do it this way. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm not having any luck with this, trying to share the image. That I'm sure won't work because it'll say too many requests. Yeah, Etsy doesn't like my VPN. It absolutely despises me using the VPN, and I don't want to not use the VPN. But I do. It's a cute little image, and hopefully you'll go run over to the Etsy shop, holsteinhouse.etsy.com, and take a look at that and some of the other things that we've got over there. Most of my stuff's done on a white background, so it's it goes better on white shirts. And I know a lot of people don't like to wear white shirts. I see so many of these other shirts and stuff out there that are on black shirts usually, or some other dark shirts that I won't wear. So, well, I shouldn't say I won't wear, but I just don't. So I've got that over there. There's also, don't forget, there's for folks that are direct booking. We have it's a promo code that is podcast 5, PODCAST 5 for Holstein House. If you direct book at Holstein House, um, that you will get 5% off your total booking, includes any packages or anything that you may subscribe to. Now, let's see. Hello, hello, hello. White and black teas. Well, Mike, yeah, they probably are down there because where you guys are so warm, tropical down there. White shirts, black shirts. I don't know why black shirts are so popular, but the images that I do end up with, I guess I could do them. I may have to try to do them in reverse. I just they end up with the big, the white border on it. I'm not real good at designing shirts and stuff like that. So I'll use Canva or something, and then you get the background unless you pay extra. And there's so many things that they want you to pay extra for in this world. Everything wants paid extra, even me. But yeah, it's a cute little shirt or little image, and like I said, I have it on. Do I just block? Sorry. Do I move on or watch the carnage? Watch the carnage. Watch the carnage. See, I shouldn't be doing that. Lofting, somebody called it one time. Well, let me get to this. And I can't. Yeah, I can. I can show you this. I can show you this as soon as I do this. Now, if those of you who are, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but those of you guys who are on audio only, what I'm to do is show a picture of this. Well, nope, not like that. I'm not. Ha! We'll share this tab instead. And then I'm going to do this. So what you see there, if you're looking, are our new additions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but there are actually 6. 6 little ducklings. 6, will you go away, you AI chat thingy? 6 little ducklings, 6 little roans. They were actually born on Wednesday. They started being born Wednesday afternoon. And I had them calendared. I had them scheduled like it was up to me. I had counted down. I was under the I believed that they were going to be born yesterday on Thursday. But they started coming Wednesday afternoon. I went out and there was a couple little ones out there already about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think it was. And they're just in there going beep, 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 beep. And she was just all upset, and um, hissing and carrying on, trying to get me to go away while she was hatching out these babies. So It looks, as far as I'm aware, there were 8 eggs. 6 of them hatched, which is supposedly a good average or good number. And I did try to wait. One of them was obviously a dud. I mean, it looked just gross. It was nasty looking. So I got it out of there. The other one I wasn't quite sure and I didn't want to fool with, and she had it rolled out this morning. So I picked it up and you could feel that it was just dried up inside. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe a little hole. Maybe it wasn't a really fertile egg. Maybe I don't know. She may have stolen it from the pekin, and maybe it wasn't fertile at all, or I have no idea. This is our first batch, or is it clutch when it's ducks of of live born, chickens or ducks. I've never bred. I didn't breed the chickens, and I've never bred ducks, but we've been talking, for the last a few weeks about that she'd been hiding them under the litter in the coop, and it dawned on me, hey, she's trying to hatch these. She's trying to go broody, which is the first. We've had her 4 or 5 years now, and this is the first time she's ever done that. So I'm thinking about changing her name to Sarah because she waited so long to have babies. But they're just adorable. I'm gonna go back out after I finish this up and check on them, make sure they're okay. I don't have everything exactly the way I want it to keep them protected while they get big enough to take, to get out of trouble themselves. But and that's another conversation with the not enough time to do stuff. I just I stand out there in the run, and I've had grown chickens and ducks for so long. The run is not baby proof. So I'm sitting there going, I've only got a few days before I can finish that up. And we've got rain coming in this afternoon. I don't know how I'm going to get all this stuff done. And they're so darling. The husband said that he read that male ducks are more calm initially in the first few days. Female ducks are more active. And I believe that might be true. And if that's true, I think we've got at least 2 males in this batch, which is, I'd rather have all girls, obviously, but we'll see what happens. Then also, I do know that after they get a couple weeks old, the girls will actually start quacking and the boys are still kind of pipping. But then the boys get that raspy noise that they make, And then, I mean, it's after you've heard a male duck and next to a female, you get the difference between the quack and the raspy hoarse sounding weirdness that's the male duck. But at this age, I mean, I believe in the next day or so, I'm supposed to be able to turn them over and look kind of carefully. And if you do it just right, you can tell. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. They'll be girls or they'll be boys. There won't be any in betweens. So that's the big surprise there, is that we have the ducklings are born. So we have 6 little ducklings, 6 little sweet little fuzzy fuzzballs of cuteness. The vegetable garden is doing okay. Suddenly this feels like it's too close. It's about where it needs to be. The tomato plants that I thought were going to bite the dust pretty well have. So I'm going to try to take care. I want to wait till after Sunday because everybody's gearing up for Mother's Day weekend and prices are going to be artificially high and they'll come down a little bit next week. So after Mother's Day is finished, and I'm going to pick up some other plant. I should start them myself from seed. I just don't have time. I just don't have time. And when you don't have time, you take, I don't want to call them shortcuts, but you do other things so that you don't have to do it all yourself. And that's why we try to make good connections and meet and do stuff and build community and all that stuff. So we'll be working on that, getting the ducklings run baby proofed and building out a little bit on the container garden. And we're going to try to work on cleaning up this stall, this delay of saying, I worked on that before. I thought I had that cleared up, but Apparently I don't. Apparently I don't have it cleared up. So talked about the porch rails again. Tired of talking about it as much as you're tired of hearing about it. The there it is again. Once you decide to deal with it, you hear it all the time. Of course, you say it all the time. Still offering the coffee and chocolate package. I don't do a Mother's Day package because this is not one of those kind of places where people are going to stay. You don't come here for a romantic getaway Mother's Day kind of thing. So we'll be working on some packages for the coming warm weather. I have a guest coming in next week. He's coming in for a run in a marathon type run kind of thing. I don't think it's actually a marathon, but it's a run in Montgomery, West Virginia. It's coming up there. I do need to work on my historic sites and stuff some more. I keep saying this, but I've got to get back downtown. And there are several restaurants that I have in a promotional guide or travel guide kind of thing that I have on the website that are gone now. Restaurants in Charleston just they don't survive over a couple years. There are a few well established, restaurants that have made it 10 years or more. There's one really dated Italian restaurant called Joe Fazio's. And Mr. Fazio passed away a couple years ago. We went there. I've been there once. It was so suffocatingly 70s. Mirrors on the wall, dark, heavy, dark wood, old feeling. It didn't feel it didn't feel nice. It was claustrophobic and dark, and it's like, I don't know, like a back room of some club or something. And actually, to me, the food was just kind of mediocre. I'm not a connoisseur. I'm not a chef. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. I can't walk in and say, you need to do this and swear and carry on. But it was just really mediocre. I was not excited about it at all. So we haven't been back, and that's okay with me. Ruth's Chris. Now that's an awesome place. We don't have one of those here, but Ruth's Chris, if I'm going to pay big money, yeah, we made a point on our 15th anniversary, I think, maybe 15th. We went to Kentucky. We went to Ruth's Chris in Kentucky on purpose, stayed the night in a cheap hotel. Well, I mean, it wasn't like, Motel 6 kind of cheap, but it was, I think it was one of the lower Marriott Courtyard. It's not the lower end, is it? One of the lower end Marriotts. And we stayed, and then we went to Ruth's Chris, and well, we got there and checked in. Then we went to Ruth's Chris for dinner. Then we went back to the hotel. Then we left. But on the way back, we stopped at a lot of places, a lot of antique shops and stuff. So we took our time coming back. It wasn't a big hurry. So it was a nice little trip. But we actually went for Ruth's Chris. But there's not, in my opinion. Now other people love this stuff downtown, but there's a lot of them that there's big fanfare and stuff about them opening, and there's a lot of chatter, and it goes for about 2 years, 2.5 years, and then they just slowly die. And they're gone, and you never hear from them again. But, it is what it is. In that guide, I have to update it because several of those restaurants are gone. And when I need to take care of that. Hopefully I can get that done here in the next few, I'll say days. I don't want to say weeks. I'd like to have it done I want to get it done by the end of the month, no later, because this is already the 12th. So if I said the 15th, I'd be killing myself trying to get it done. Let's see. Well, there I go. Again. It's awfully quiet today. People must be really, really tired. not paying any attention to the news. I know I've seen enough headlines that I know that the was it Title 42 or whatever that immigration bill is gone, and the current administration says we're ready for it, we're ready for it. And I'm thinking, if you were ready for it, we wouldn't need to be ready for it. The border, there wouldn't have been thousands of people pouring across the border every day, unaccompanied, unaccounted for. I don't like where it's going, and you know, they don't call me and they don't listen to me. So I've asked them and asked them and asked them, but they don't call and they don't listen to me. Oh, did I hit record on this? I didn't hit record on this. Darn it. So now I'm starting now. I failed to hit record on the Noster Nest. Now, of course, well, StreamYard's capturing it, but as far as I know, you can't add. I need to. There's so much I need to figure out on this stuff. I don't think you can add it automatically to Noster. I mean, add Noster Nest to StreamYard. So I don't. I didn't get that. It's because I tried to set the room up. I set it up wrong, and then I came back, and then I forgot to do it. So there we go. I like the idea of Noster. I am trying to post every day over there. I am getting a little bit of acknowledgement over there. I've been trying to follow Jack Spirko's Noster, what do you call it? Initiative, I think is what he called it. That you go to Noster every day. You post something. Let me think. How did he do it? Oh, I can't open it. I don't have that open. You go on Noster, you make a post, you hashtag it with grow Noster, hashtag GROWNOSTR. There's no E in Noster, NOSTR. Then you post that. Then you check the grow Noster hashtag. Try to follow a new person, 2 new people every day, and you zap a couple people every day. And the idea is, and you're supposed to do that over 90 days. And I have grown with that. It has helped some, but I think I've plateaued out. Noster, I'll tell you one of the best analogies that I have heard of Noster in a while. They compared it to instead of comparing it to Twitter. Oh, darn. It went right out of my head. It was compared to email and cell phones. Obviously, 2 different things. The idea being that you, like your email, I can have a Gmail account and I can send it to you at Outlook. And it's going to go through all different types of servers and things and end up in your Outlook box. I can also log in from a web browser and read my Gmail from any web browser, just logging in, and that's kind of that way. The cell phone thing was more along the lines of, I have my cell phone from, this one happens to be darn it, I'm having a terrible day. We'll say T-Mobile. And this T-Mobile phone, I can make a phone call and it'll bounce on any cell tower from any company, any carrier, and it will still come out on the other end. And then you get into the history and your files. Well, those files are kept on the Noster server, and you can access those unless you delete them. If you delete them, they're gone. You can back them up, but you can access those files from any of the clients, and the clients are like Iris, Snort, Damus. Darn it. There's a couple others, but it's fun. A lot of folks try to compare it to Twitter, which in a way it is, because you're chatting back and forth with each other. in a similar, it looks a lot similar to Twitter in that you see the stream of conversation and you can chatter back and forth to each other and you follow each other and you can see, what each other's posts in a single stream. It's not like with Facebook where you've got all these things on the sides and other social media and advertisements and stuff. There's not advertisements per se. And there's no one telling you what you can or can't see. So, that's a big thing with the social medias out there, is that there's someone, whether it's Elon Musk or whomever, telling you what you can or can't see because they're curtailing some stuff. They're holding some back or saying, okay, these people can't. You know how they did with Trump on his Twitter account. They shut him down. Well, they can't. No, there's no one person who can do that with Noster. So it's still really new. It's still sometimes kind of clunky because it is so new, and the developers are still making changes. You're watching it being built in real life, so it's kind of fun that way. But learning it can be very frustrating when you're used to the way all the current social media. So it would be like going from AOL to Facebook, or remember MySpace, going from MySpace to Facebook, or MySpace to Twitter, and you have to just learn this whole different way of interacting. So it's a little foreign to the eye. It's a little foreign to the senses in that it's just out there. There's no filters. You create your own filters. If you don't want to see certain kind of things, you hide those people. So it's really fun right now getting out there and learning and sharing. And I've been using in most of my posts. Now, honestly, I have missed a few. Most of my posts, I have put hashtag WV for West Virginia, hashtag USA, hashtag travel, because I want to try to build up the direct book guests. But when I go to hashtag West Virginia or WV, there's only been a couple other people that's posted, and those were a couple derogatory things about the basketball coach saying some really just stupid crap out there. And he got called out for it. So he just the big dummy. I mean, he got in trouble. But I've tried to check that hashtag, and there's really nobody been using it. So I'm gonna try it again while we're on here right now. So search hashtag WV for West Virginia, and all of these are coming up. They're just me because nobody else is using it. Now, are there other West Virginians out there? Probably. I cannot say that I'm the only person out there using Noster, but I'm scrolling through the hashtag WV, and I don't see, there's nothing. There's nothing. So let me go back up here and do hashtag. I guess I could share this tab and let me show you what I'm talking about here. Is that the one? There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So, all right, let me do it over again. So hashtag WV, this is what I'm talking about. It's probably not refreshing because I have already done that. Let's see. I'm clear down here. Take you clear up to the top. Look here. We can scroll. That's from this morning. That's from yesterday. There's some posts. There's some. Do I have a? Do I know anything about these hashtags and what they have in common? Hit me up. Okay, so yeah, I know what those are. So there's one other person using a bunch of those hashtags there. These are all me. See, this is all hashtag WV. Okay. And this is all me and my terribleness here. That's at the church. This is going way back. So, this is all hashtag WV. Let me do Hashtag West Virginia. So we have a few more here, but not many. Okay, so there's one. We have, I don't know who this is. How do I tell? Let's see. Big thank you to the 18 states that are now banning irreversible mutilization of children. So, okay, West Virginia is included in this post by someone who just says has a little dot there for a period. I don't know who that's supposed to be. www.traditionalvalues.us/protect children innocent. So this has the hashtag West Virginia in it here because we banned irreversible mutilation of children. This Bozo Sozo, he's got it, the full West Virginia in there. If you know anything about these hashtags and what they have in common, hit me up. And it's Pendleton County, Pendleton Rocks, Treasure Mountain Festival, Purple Fiddle, Future Regeneration Smoke Hole. So, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about there. These are festivals and places in Pendleton County, West Virginia. And Kroger pays West Virginia $68 million to settle claims that it helped fuel the opioid epidemic, announces the state attorney general, and that's from May the 4th. So these three, using the hashtag West Virginia, are all from the first few days of the month. Now let's see. There I go again. Didn't mean to do that. So stream. Put me back in there. So there's almost nothing West Virginia wise in there. So I'm trying to build, in a void, a void in a void. So things at the church are going okay. I'll be winding down here in a few minutes. We're still building up for our lunch and learns. I have the extension agency on board for the twice a week children's program for food and nutrition. Darn it. I'm ashamed of myself because I'm stumbling on this. The food and nutrition program through the West Virginia State University Extension Agency. It's the it's the, I was trying to get the official name of it. Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program through West Virginia State University. I should have known that. And they also have another program through their agriculture department. Well, it's all extension office, but directly agriculture, that is a container gardening program. And I just heard back from her Wednesday, and we don't have the details on that worked out. It is a community education program for, let me get the official name of it. Oh, she didn't give me the official name on it. Wait. That's me. That's her. Hydroponics, small container gardening, tree minders extension agent, extension services, and agriculture and natural resource division. So I'm sorry I slaughtered all that, but I should have had that right here. I thought I did have it right here, but I must have gotten interrupted because, stuff's leaking. I did, however, I have the wrong phone here. I did, however, make my first official straight up spend the money purchase of Bitcoin this week. It started going down. I dropped $100 in. That's not that much. But I did drop $100 straight up for a purchase of Bitcoin when it was down at 27.6, I think. 27.6 and some change. So now I have to start pushing for a cold storage wallet and just consolidate all of my stuff. I do want to reach out to HJ sooner rather than later. He talked about the Moon Wallet, and I do have the Moon Wallet. It's not cold storage, but I was reading about the differences in the fees for using your Moon Wallet, and I'm going to reach out to him here and talk to him about that soon, because I don't want to pay more fees than I have to. And the Lightning Wallet apparently has lesser fees, so I want to talk about the differences, the pros and cons of Moon versus Lightning. Moon versus Lightning. So I want to make myself a note on that. I know the difference kind of, but I think the big deal with him was the Moon Wallet, because he's in Africa. HJ's in Africa, and I think that was the difference, that he could do transaction with the Moon Wallet. He couldn't do transaction with Lightning. So I do want to talk to him about that. But I am going to have to get a cold storage wallet now and make that happen. Yay me. Kicking and screaming into the Bitcoin verse. Well, I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me. I have the opportunity coming up very soon, probably Monday, to participate in another podcast. I don't remember exactly what her podcast is titled. I know it is rewilderlife.com. She's asked me about it. We're going to try to do that on Monday morning. It'll be pre-recorded. I'll share that with you guys if you want to. She's wanting to talk about homesteading and Airbnb. So I look forward to that, because that's one of the things I like to discuss, is using sharing space in my home through, and I use Airbnb, and we've talked about this before, because it's easier. But I do want to move my people over to direct book instead of Airbnb. But a lot of the folks that are coming through are using Airbnb because it's quick and easy, and they can fix their account and they can pay through Airbnb. And there's a little bit of a security in using Airbnb. There's this, what I think is a false security, because they say they screen people, but they do, but it's not that much of a screening. So it is a little bit of an option. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it here now. We are right at an hour, and it's been really good talking to you. Remember, this is Mother's Day weekend. If your mother's still living, try to give her a hug. If you can't physically give her a hug, give her a call. And even if you get that card in late, if you can't give her a call and you can't go see her, send her at least a card. She may not say, you need to send me a card, son or daughter, but she's really hoping you'll remember to do it. So I will finish up there, and I'm going to wish you guys a great weekend, a great Mother's Day for those of you who are mothers. And I will see you on Tuesday for another Tuesday Live. Bye-bye. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms, and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.